So we're doing a little cleanup. I gotta go to Vegas in a day. We got one day until Vegas. So I'm off today. Already went and got a haircut. I got my eyebrows threaded. Eyebrows done. Got a haircut. Got my manicure, so we're good on that. So I'm not gonna pack until tomorrow night. I can't pack earlier. I pack better when I'm on like a time crunch. So a lot of people always ask like, how did I get in content creating? That's like the number one question. Outside of, am I single? How old am I? And where do I work? But the number one question I usually get is, how did I get into content creating? So for a long time, I've always had some type of like idea that I wanted to do content creating, but more so, I was like super like scared, super shy. More so because I'm really concerned with like people judging me. Like you do something like, is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be bad? So for me, I had to get over that hump and realize it's like there's never gonna be a perfect time to do anything. I always waited, until like the perfect time to do something. Like I just felt like, even with this camera and everything, like I could have been started a YouTube, used my iPhone, call it a day. But I felt like I had to have a camera, I had to have a lens, I had to have soft lights, I had to have a computer, I had to have this, I had to have that. But in reality, you don't need none of that. It's just all about just getting started. It's just going. If you always wait until the perfect time to do something, it's never going to be the right time. So I had to kind of learn that the hard way. And this has been something that I've been working on for the past, like I said, probably like 2 or 3 years. Just coming up with more excuses as to why I can't do it, why I shouldn't do it. I launched through TikTok, gained some traction there. Over to Instagram, and now, like I said, like we're on YouTube. So, and now I've just kind of gotten to the point where I'm not trying to make sure like everything is perfect, because it's not gonna be perfect. So now that like I have the idea like it's not gonna be perfect, like you just gotta post it. And to be honest, when you first start off on YouTube, like no one's gonna really just like look at your content like that. Month-over-month consistency to really get where you want to go. So with that being said, like I just kind of like started posting. So I just kind of learned that like I said, it's not gonna be the right time for anything. So that's how I kind of got started. It's kind of good to find like a niche. Like, what's your niche? I like decor. I like aesthetic. I like fashion, like shoes. So for me, it's a little hard to just kind of like focus like on one thing. So like a day in the life, lifestyle, self-care seems like that's like gonna be like the best thing for me personally. So another question is like, how do you stay motivated? I think for me, like the way that I personally stay motivated is just kind of like staying consistent. For the most part, everyone that follows me, like the community that I'm building, basically holds me accountable. Like people always message me like, hey, like I've been waiting on the video, or hey, like I sent you a question about this. Like that right there is like holding accountability like within itself. So it basically forces me to not be complacent and to always like, post, create content, stay focused, stay consistent. I don't think I think your consistency will bring your motivation. So like you just got to kind of keep doing it, and then it's gonna get to the point where it just kind of feels like it's just second nature. Then you're good. So I think so far, like I still have some work to do on my consistency, but I'm also getting like 1,000 times better at the same time. Not making excuses, holding myself accountable, having my people hold me accountable as well. And it's also very challenging. Like creating content is super hard. It's super challenging. I don't have anyone to help me with none of this stuff, so I'm just really just figuring out. I watch some of my favorite content creators on YouTube most of the time, and I just kind of pick up cues from like what they do, and like it just really got to the point where I just realized like I just have to just pick up the camera and just start. So I've been watching, and they've been doing YouTube for 5 years, and I have to realize that it took them 5 years to get to where they are at current. So I can't expect to just hop on third video and be like, yeah, like on the same level that they are. I mean, I could, but that's just going to create more procrastination and not creating content. So this doesn't make any sense. So it's just easier just to jump in and just figure it out. I think it's kind of like being like thrown to the wolves for the most part. So I'm enjoying it so far. Challenging, but I'm enjoying it. This is definitely going to be dope. People also ask, like, where did I get my fashion sense from? I think everyone goes through phases. I've went through my skinny jean phase, which was like leggings and like Chelsea boots and tight shirts. I went through that phase to skinny jeans and Chelsea boots and like more looser shirts. I think now I'm transcending into like an urban style, kind of like an LA, like like an LA vibe for the most part. You know, like I used to be worried about having my sneakers and making sure you see the whole shoe, which is why I wore skinny jeans. Now I'm kind of going to the point where it's like, you know, big oversized pants, you know, like with the sneakers, you know, shirt, oversized fitted shirt. So my style, I put on what I want to put on. I think one of my cool outfits I had, they were like purple and gold pants. That's on my Instagram. I had on sky blue and white high top dunks. I can't remember what color shirt I had on. I want to say I had on a white shirt. I want to say that. And then I had on a Carhartt, like brown Carhartt, like heavy duty jacket. And it was just like, it's just different. So you got some people that's going to look at you like, what this man got on. You have others that are going to respect the fashion and the style, because fashion is different from style. Like fashion is usually stuff that you don't normally wear. Like when you have a fashion show and you go out to like Paris Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, like you're not going to see people that are wearing that on the runway, like actually outside 9 times out of 10. With a dope message on the back. So that's super cool. This world is temporary. I like that. I was trying to wait and see. So I found this brand off of Instagram. Ask like, where you get your clothes from? Majority of my clothes are Nike. I'm a huge Nike fan. Then I buy a lot of stuff from Minimal, Urban Outfitters. Most of my shirts are always Carhartt. So Academy Sports, Dick's, Carhartt, website, whatever. Also got another shirt too. It's like a heavy duty like work shirt. Says him. Green corduroy collar on the back. I don't know if you can see it. So I can't wait to style this. I definitely put the where I got it from. Shout out to Dre, engineered by Dre. I put his contact information in the description as well. Like fashion, just wear what you want to wear. Like, it's your style. Like, that's the gift behind it, that is your style. You can do whatever you want to do with it. Like, that's the beauty of it all. Like, do what you want to do. Like, who cares? I think it's a problem, like, with society. Like, we get into the habit of of like conforming, and like social media creates this like facade in a sense, like everyone's doing good, everyone's, you know, whatever, which is good, but it only highlights the positive. It never shows like a negative. So I think like we're always trying to compare ourselves like to other people. I'm guilty of that myself. Like I said earlier, like I'm watching like other YouTube content creators and I'm trying to mimic their style. I'm trying to mimic like how they create their videos, and I have to realize like they've been doing this for a very long time, and I'm just now starting. Like it's okay that I don't have all the tools. It's just about getting started. And I almost spent $3,000 on the computer because I just felt like I just had to have a setup because other people had a setup. And I basically made my setup work for what I can do, so I can go ahead and get the content out there. Like it's just about getting started, literally. So like on a normal off day, like I said, like I try to be like consistent. When I say consistent, it's more so like having like a checklist. So if you have an iPhone, which 100% of us probably have an iPhone, I think there's like a app that's built into the phone. That's like a to-do app. You can basically like put the dates that you need that you want to do stuff on, and then from there you can kind of like build your schedule out. So me personally, like even though it's like I gotta take out the trash, I put out take out trash, or I put out gym, send email, put in vacation, edit content, post content, create content. I do all that stuff. Even though it's simple minded, I do it because it keeps me like tactful for the most part. Place a little junky right now. Got some new hangers. IKEA, switching over to wood. Long time coming, but these are like $10 for 8. So I do want to say thank you to everyone that like definitely supports me. This is going to be definitely a long journey. I'm super excited to see where it goes. Like I said, I am going to Vegas in a couple of days. I'm going to attempt to vlog that. Have no idea how it's going to turn out, but we're going to go for it. We're going to try it out. Like, how do you find like your peace? Like for me, I think you just gotta find like what makes you happy. You know what I'm saying? Like first, like you have to be happy by yourself. If you're happy by yourself, then everything else will kind of pan out. If you're not, you can't find another person that's gonna magically all of a sudden make you happy, because now your happiness is dependent on this other person. And if this other person can't pour into you like you need, you're never going to be happy, you're never going to be satisfied. So why even put yourself like in that situation? So I think a lot of times like you have to be alone. It's really hard for people to be alone. If you really think about it, like it's really hard to sit in your thoughts by yourself and just really go through all the emotions, go through all the conversations, go through all the battles, actually answer yourself, like talk to yourself. But I really think that is a very strong point and like a pivotal point when someone can actually do that. A lot of people think that they're happy and they're not really happy. Like they think they're happy because they have a nice car, a nice apartment, they have a bunch of shoes, they have clothes, but that's all material stuff. Like inside, like internally, like mentally, are you happy? Emotionally, are you happy? Physically, are you happy? And if you actually break down and talk to a lot of people, for them to actually be real with themselves, they're not really happy. That's okay, but it becomes a bad behavior or a toxic behavior once we're not actually digesting and actually sitting in, okay, like I know I'm not happy, how can I fix it? If you keep creating this facade in your head and these far-fetched ideas that you're super happy, you're just going to end up steering yourself down the wrong road. On top of that, you're going to involve someone else, and then you're going to get them kind of caught up in the same thing. A lot of men, we're not going to go to that. We'll say that for another topic. So like for me, So I think everything is like has like a practical way to create peace in your life. Um, Calming your mind, like do something that calms you. Whether that's like drawing or playing video games or getting tattoos. Like tattoos is a form of therapy for me, so like I'm okay with that. Um, Going running, working out, going out to eat, doing content, creating content. Like do something that calms your mind because your mind can't be racing all the time. That's kind of one way to kind of like create peace and create balance. Simplifying your life as well. Like don't make. I'm really big on not making stuff complicated. I think in the world that we're in like now, like so many people make stuff so complicated, and I really don't know why. Things can be so easy. Things are easy if you just simplify it. Um, as long as you clear your mind and you have fewer distractions, you can focus on more stuff. You can address your attention on stuff that needs to be addressed versus wasting your time on something that doesn't need to be addressed. Like if that means like simplifying, like lowering like your commitments. People overcommit themselves all the time. It's a bad behavior that I do. I have a terrible work-life balance because I just put so much into my work that I don't pour into myself. So I'm learning to have a better balance, still able to complete tasks at 100% capacity, but also like when it's time to go home. Because if we just face it, if I were to die tomorrow, like I would have a requisition up the next day. That's just how it is, like in any corporation. Like, I don't want to say that we're all just numbers, but a lot of people in the world just feel like you're just a number. So it really starts to really take effect if you have like a life event, that's when you start to like recalibrate, you start to like really think about stuff. Educating yourself, teaching others about peace, I think will help you also bring peace too. Like once you start talking about peace, how to establish that, it's kind of like math or science, right? Like you pick up on something better when you start teaching it. So like you may learn math and you like practice it and you study and you do this and you do that. But then when you start actually teaching it, you start to learn it more and you start deep diving into stuff that you like didn't know the first time. So like when it comes down to peace, like knowing like where your peace lies, knowing what's like your capacity, like your ability, then you can basically push it off to the public. So like I'm not perfect. So it's calming your mind, simplifying your life, educating yourself, and like basically teaching others. The 5-finger rule. Only have 5 fingers on one hand. If there's anything that's like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if it's something that does not fit on this hand, then I don't worry about it. Whether it be like work or personal, I only have 5 things max that I can worry about at one time. So I may have 5 things, and then one thing might fix itself. Down to 4, it puts me back to 5. But anything outside of that, I don't worry about. And that's kind of helped me a lot as well. Like whether it be like in my personal life, be in my work life. Like some people just use you for what you can give them. And it took me a long time to realize that like these so-called really good friends that I had were only using me because of what I can provide to them. It's just crazy that I've met some guys in my life that are more a brother than people I've known for 15 years, like 16 years, like people that I've known for a very long time, like 10 years, 11 years, whatever, like I grew up with at 5 years old. Like it's crazy how time doesn't really equate to like loyalty in friendship. And I've met some people that I've known for probably like 3 years and they've been like the most solid person ever. And that just kind of goes to show you like time doesn't mean everything. I think we believe that because we have so much tenure with somebody that like it's like for the better, and it's not always like that. Like I've learned that the hard way. Don't try to control people because you can't control people. And it doesn't matter if it's like your family, your girlfriend, wife, husband, whatever, like you can't control someone. And when you learn that you can't control someone, like you start to kind of create more peace. Like it sounds bad, but some men have the concept that they're not worried about like their significant other cheating on them, because at the end of the day they can't control it. I do agree that on that as well. Like whether I'm with someone for 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, at the end of the day, if she wants to go out and do whatever, then that's what's going to happen. I can't control that. So I can't keep running in my head like, okay, what is she doing? What is she doing? Like texting, doing this, doing that. Because once again, that's going to ruin your peace. So once you start to like let go of the idea that you can't control if someone's talking about you, whether you're doing good or bad, you can't control your boyfriend or your husband, your wife, your significant other. Once you start to like let go of stuff, slowly like your piece starts kind of like forming together. And that's what I've been kind of doing. I also don't have like any expectations. Now, it's probably not the best way to think about stuff, but I don't have any expectations on the capacity that things are going to go my way. Yes, you want to speak things into existence, but at the same time, I'm more like real about situations. So like if I apply for a job, I don't get super excited. Most people get super excited. They tell everybody, blah, 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 this and that. And then what happens, you don't get the job. Now everyone's expecting you to get the job because you hyped it up, you talked about it so much, and then you don't get it, so then you let yourself down, like your friends or your family are let down, they're sad. It becomes a whole situation. So for me, I apply to a job knowing that I'm not going to get the job, and that if it is for me, it will be for me. And I just kind of have that capacity on not setting expectations on anything. Even as me going to McDonald's to get an ice cream cone. Like, I have the expectation that this ice cream machine might be down, and it might not feel like actually making me an ice cream cone. Even though it's ready, I'm not going to argue with that. So I just have like no expectations. Me having no expectations has literally changed everything when it comes to like my mental peace. And mental peace for women or men is crucial in today's society. I have been thinking about doing yoga to kind of like do something that makes me like uncomfortable. I'm a firm believer that you don't grow unless you're uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, you never grow. So I'm not too comfortable doing yoga. I'm comfortable lifting weights, doing yoga, which is something I need to do to open up myself, kind of like stretch more. And it's also something different. There's also another pathway where I can probably help create more peace for myself, which is doing yoga. So it's been like kind of cool actually going through and like journaling stuff and like how I'm feeling, or like the weather made me feel like this, or my right knee hurts, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of also helping me solidify my mental peace as well. I'm just really big on my mental peace and my emotional peace. Please feel free to ask questions. Like send me questions, please, like to my email, to my socials. Please send those questions so I can create more videos and topics around those. So if I'm uncomfortable, that means I'm growing, and I'm severely uncomfortable right now. So I just kind of like I look forward to a lot of change. Like, comment, subscribe, share, please. I definitely will put some links in the description. And everyone have a good day.